Hey guys, welcome back to Gen X versus Gen Z. On today's topic, we're going to be talking about why moving away from your home or your family home is so important for self-discovery.
Hometown, right?
Hometown, I would say like just the home you grew up in where your parents are.
Okay.
Why is that so important for self-discovery?
I agree.
And I think because, I feel like your environment really forms who you are. And kids are, like when you meet a kid and you see their personality, all of that is being formed based on their parents, right? Because they're reliant on their parents or whoever's taking care of you, whoever your caregiver is. I feel like, you're being formed based on those people and based on the home that you're being brought up in. And so as you get older and when you have the right to move on your own, I feel like it's so important to find yourself genuinely who you are, because if you stay in that same environment, I feel like you'll never really know who you are because you'll always have that security.
And we grew up in the same hometown.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a love and hate, right?
Yeah.
Like when I do go, like, when
I cringe a little bit.
Yeah, like when my mom says, hey, come over, so-and-so's over.
Yeah.
And I know, like, that lifestyle, and it's like, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like,
yeah,
they're going to talk about how I used to behave.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember when you did this? And it's like,
and you're not there anymore.
Like, do you know? And, like, a lot of it, I drank myself growing up. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So, like, even though they say, like, oh, my God, remember who you... And it's like, that was the alcohol speaking.
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
Like, you guys don't know me now.
At all, right? But I love it, and I love that they love me. Mm-hmm. They love me. They saw me grow up. Like,
of course. But it's genuine love.
But it's like, no.
You're not living there anymore.
I'm not. So it does affect. It does affect because, like a quick story. So, like, when so this is back then when you go look for a job, you get the newspaper. Can't relate to that.
Oh my God, what is that?
So you would literally get the Sunday newspaper and go to classified, and they would show like job posting. So I remember I was looking for an assistant to be doing hair, and it's just sad, but like it makes sense, right? So I remember I found this job and it said like assistant needed, and it said Woodland Hills, right? And I'm like, Woodland Hills, where's that at?
Yeah.
Never heard that in my life. I never left
your area.
My area. The most it would be like those 3 little cities.
But do you feel like it? I know, the surrounding cities. But do you think that if you were to stay in that area, you would be where you are today?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I not for anybody that stayed there, right?
Yeah.
But like I feel like God wanted me to have more and be more for other people. Like He didn't bless me because like, oh, you deserve it. You're gonna be amazing. It's like He knew that I can help others the way I had to, where I came from, that they would listen to me.
Of course.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So like I remember taking the bus. It was like
freaking
three buses just to get to Woodland Hills, and I get there, and I remember the insecurity that I felt, where I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God,
I feel so out of place.
I'm just gonna be honest, like I didn't grow up with white people.
Yeah,
you know, we just did it. It was mostly like Hispanics or blacks.
Of course.
So I was not that I was taught, but yeah, I guess it was taught that white people were better than us. Not in a negative way.
No, but I definitely feel like it has been implemented.
Yeah, like my dad would say, you respect them. You respect them because they're your boss. And,
of course.
You know, and
they are the ones in
positions
of power.
Yes. He never said it in a negative way.
Yeah.
So I was so like, oh my God, I'm gonna
I need to be good.
I need to be good. So then, long story short, it was more like, if I didn't leave, I would be still stuck there. And
stuck in that mentality, right? And now we can walk in any room with any race, like, hey,
and you know how, look, it's a small world, though. The fact that I was so afraid of Woodland Hills, and now I have my business in Woodland Hills.
You have your own location?
Ventura, honey, like, windows.
Do you hear that?
See, this is when I say, like, I'm so grateful.
She spoke this into existence
at such
a young age.
I sure did. Like, I never saw myself being there.
I love that.
So yeah, yours. Testimony right there. Hey. So yours. Mind you, same hood.
Right?
We're not gonna mention it.
Well, yeah, I feel like my parents never left the hood. And so they raised me in a very interesting way.
Yeah.
And I will
life.
self-disclose a little bit. I definitely have a juvenile record. I was in and out of juvie. I was about that life. Yeah.
Fast life.
And I still am. Test me one more time. I'm just kidding.
But
no. Let me pause.
Yeah, no,
Let me
no.
take
I
my
think
things.
fast life.
I'm just
you
kidding.
had a fast life.
It was very fast paced. My mom did have a good moments in her life where she was doing very good. And she had a business over here, right? So she was showing me, that there's more to life, which I really, appreciate and look up to that.
But she still.
But how she was doing it, okay, it was fast life.
But she still okay. Let's just not completely knock her off of it because she really did work hard.
She did work hard to build that.
Whether she did it right or not, a little greedy and got a little extra. That's different. But she did still work.
She did work really hard.
I give her flowers on that.
She worked so hard.
She sure did.
She put in her effort.
I love her for that.
I love her for that too. But I didn't know how she was doing it, and so I didn't expect the downfall in that way because she never shared that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what was the background of that.
Yeah.
And so now looking back at my upbringing, I'm like, oh my God, I was really living this like fast hood life.
Yeah. But
even
rich
though
life.
we were in the suburbs for a period of time.
Yeah.
It was still the fast life.
It is still fast
And it's
life.
crazy because that manifested in my mom's energy. She was very stressed out, very overwhelmed, always looking over her back. And, so that's just a quick overbrief of how I came up. And so, and then, I would go visit my dad, which was a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. But anywho, I needed to leave both of them. Both of them and get away from both of them to really just self-discover. Yeah. But you know what I caught myself doing? I caught myself becoming codependent on my partner who I have 2 kids with now. And so it went from one home to another, and so we kind of built this empire. But now I'm getting to a point of, right?
Yes,
but I'm getting to a point of I'm still trying to find out who I am because I really didn't have that time to do that because I went from them, right, depending on them, to kind of depending on Renee.
We went backwards,
yeah.
right?
And so I was just, instead of really moving out and self-discovering, I kind of got into this relationship where I kind of lost myself again. So I feel that I'm at a point where I'm trying to figure out how can I find myself and still maintain that household, but also I'm just really, I'm very big on not being dependent on on Renee anymore or on my parents, and kind of just moving in my own direction now because I feel that he's also home. Yeah. So I also need to leave that area or that environment to just kind of really find out who I am. And I love how he's giving me the space right now to do that. And so we're kind of at a point where it's like, you do you. Yeah. And we can balance the kids. Yeah. And that's fine. And we'll figure it out. And so I feel like I'm finally at a place where I'm not codependent on anyone.
Which I love. Because technically you needed to do that years ago, right?
Years ago. I should have.
It's okay though, but now
if
your
I
mentality.
Could have, lesson for people coming up, if you do leave home, don't go and jump into
another
relationship, another home.
Find in the neighborhood, right?
Home. Yeah. Find your own home. Yeah, because we were still in the hood. Yeah. Yeah. And so I just feel that it's very important to leave where you were brought up to really know who you are, because in the environment that you grew up in, that's all you're going to know. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to really be able to learn and see how you
Not that act. It's a knock on the where you grow up. I think what it is that the people that I hung out with.
It's the people.
Yeah, so it has nothing to do with the location. Right. So I just want to, because I don't want nobody to come after us. No.
But it has nothing to do with the city or the location. It has to do with the home that you grew up in. Or it has to do with the parents or the caregivers that you grew up with. Mm-hmm. It's about leaving those people. It's about the relationships to really self-discover and find out who you are and sit in that loneliness and sit in yourself.
It's lonely.
It could be lonely.
It was lonely.
But it doesn't have to be.
But it was lonely at the beginning.
Yeah. When you get there, it won't be.
Yeah. We're up there. Anyway.
So I love that.
Hey.